So with Jay Blades of Out of the Dark. Say hello, Jay.
Hi, how you doing?
And so we're having a chat about mankindness, and people are good at what they do and do it in a decent way with the business and how they deal with people.
Yeah.
So tell us a little snapshot, a little bit about Out of the Dark, Jay.
Out of the Dark is a social enterprise that teaches young people how to restore, revamp and recycle old furniture. We get a lot of furniture from dumps, donated to us. Sometimes we buy it from charity shops, sometimes charity shops give us furniture, and then we just try to bring a new lease of life into it. If it needs a bit of restoration or repairing, we'll repair it and then add our kind of funky twist onto that old piece.
Fantastic. And what do the kids get out of this that are helping you with this?
Well, what the kids get out of it is we're trying to get them job ready. So getting a lot of young people ready to actually go into the workforce, and what that means is just basically a number of young people we tend to work with believe it's going to come just like that. It's going to be fame, it's going to be money, it's going to be like, wow, success, here we go. As soon as I step out of school, or as soon as I step out of university, I'm going to achieve it. The big wide world doesn't happen like that. You have to put a bit of work in. So for us, what they get out of this is just understanding how business works for one, and how you have to put something into something before you can reap the benefits.
Yeah.
So for us, we do all hand painting and we don't spray paint. Spray paint is a very quick thing that anybody could do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the fast society that's out there. Everybody's just quick, emails, whatever, it's all done quickly.
Yeah.
But for us, it's painting. And let's say a chair like this, we would end up putting you would end up putting about 12 to 14 coats of paint or something onto this, and it would be 2 or 3 coats of primer, and then it would be 4, maybe 5 coats of the normal paint, and then we finish it off with a varnish, and that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Whereas if you spray, you spray it twice, and spray the varnish, it's all done, and then it's good to sell. But you don't really feel connected to the piece of furniture, and that's what we're trying to create with the young people.
So obviously they're obviously getting some skills out of this, but what are they getting personally out of it? What's your hope for them through this?
Personally, I hope that they get a determination to actually, whatever career they choose to go into, they'll work at it, rather than just see it as like, oh, I just want to do that, and then change some years later. It's basically sticking to something. So that's for me, it's more to do with life skills. It's to do with skills and showing them, like, if you put a bit of work into it, or you feel passionate about what you're doing, you're more than likely going to last, and it's more than likely going to work for you. If you don't feel passionate, you're not going to want to get up in the morning. You're not really bothered about what you're doing, and it's going to show in the quality of your work.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned that word success, which we talked about a little bit earlier on. So you've had quite an interesting life. How do you see success now? What are you trying to help these kids see?
For me, success is just it's keeping my head above water, being able to pay the bills and just keep afloat. I've done a bit more than paying the bills. I think we've achieved quite a bit. Me and my wife met must be at least 12 and a half years ago now to set up Street Dreams, and we're still going strong. Success for me is a case of being recognised in the community of someone who can do good, being recognised for someone who's not harming other people, and also just being a nice person, really and truly, is what success means to me now. For some young people, success is all about money. You judge it by how many cars you have, how many properties you have across the world, and so on and so forth. Probably because that's what the media is bombarding them with at the moment, whereby it's all about flashiness and how much cars you've got and how much girls you have and so on and so forth. For me, that isn't it. But I've grown up now. Maybe when I was younger that might have been the case, but not anymore.
You talk about being a decent guy, which is, a lot of what mankindness is about. So it's about being good and successful, but decent in the way we go about our business and deal with people.
Yeah.
How have you found that actually pays out in the work you're doing?
It's a soft result. It's very hard to say, okay, I was kind to this person and this is what happened after. It's almost as if there's this word, it sounds a bit cheesy to use it, but it's like a karma effect. Now basically, if we're doing good, you might not receive anything from that person. You might then receive something from 6 people down the road because of what you've done. So it's kind of like a domino effect.
Right.
It's a domino effect with not the direct result that you're going to receive. So for us, when we're kind to people, or when we do, we don't even see it as being kind. We just see it as being part part of the community, part of human society. It's a case of like, if someone's going to help me, I'm going to help that person.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to help that person and not even think about, oh, they're going to help me later. Yeah. It's just a case of, well, I'm going to help you because it's the thing to do. I'm not going to leave you on the side. It's almost like saying, if you saw someone who fell over, let's say it was someone who was a tramp or something like that, would you help them up? Yeah. If you saw someone who was Bill Gates or Richard Branson fall over, would you help them up? Most people might turn around and say, I'm going to help Richard Branson, I'm going to help Bill Gates. Yeah. And it's because they're going to see a direct result in something out of that. But for us, it's like, you've just got to help your fellow man out, or your fellow person. Because if you go around and kind of stepping on people, it's not the way to live.
No, and it will also come through as fake if we're just selectively putting it on, rather than actually it's just a way of being the way we are.
Yeah, it's only when people, like, when you ask that question, I don't even think about like kindness. I just think of it as us being normal people.
Yeah.
It's like, it's what we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. It's a weird question to answer. Like, what are you getting? Or kindness? It's like, no, we just act that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the, we've both at an age where we've probably learned a lot of lessons through life.
Yeah.
If you think about people that might be listening to this, what would be maybe a significant lesson you've learned in your life, and how that's been of a benefit going forward?
The lesson I've learned in my life is probably take time, take it easy, and also listen. A lot of the time, a lot of people don't actually listen to what other people are saying. And if you get to listen to people and then understand, and then you can communicate in a better way, brilliant. For me, when I was growing up, it was a case of whoever shouted the loudest will get heard the most. And because of the era that I grew up, that's what we all used to do. We were very aggressive, shouting and loud and so on and so forth. But now, I've realised if you actually listen to what people are saying, it's like there's no need to shout. There's no need to actually think about what they're trying to say to you. You will actually hear it, understand it, and then you will communicate back, and then it will just lessen the way of you moving forward. And that's what was a big tip for me, just listening to people and moving forward.
And can you think of a specific situation or incident where you've listened to, you've been with somebody, you've listened to them in that way, and it's maybe created a shift or an outcome that you maybe couldn't have been predicted and planned?
It's very hard to say in particular because I've had so many. I'm too old now to pick out one particular. I think the biggest person I've listened to, I would say, is me. I've listened to my gut. Sometimes my gut tells me don't do something, and when it tells me that, then I listen to that. That's the biggest thing that's worked for me. Let's say in the case of me going back to university, I'm not going back, going to university. I had a gut feeling. I got kicked out of school when I was 15, was allowed to come back and take my GCSE, or CSEs they were called in those days. Didn't do really well, and basically I disliked school, full stop. And then at the age of 29, 30, I thought to myself, all right, I need a challenge. What's the one thing you want to do? And the only thing I thought I could challenge myself on was going back to school. So university was the prime opportunity. Yeah. And my gut was telling me to do it. But I didn't want to do it because I was really scared of going into that school environment. Everybody would have been more educated than me and so on and so forth. But I did it, and to tell you the truth, it's been the best thing for me. Just listening to myself and saying, right, I'm going to go to uni and do that. And then I met my wife, set up Street Dreams, and here I am today.
Cool. That's been really fantastic to share some of your brief bit about your story and some of those lessons, Jay. Thanks very much. I'm sure people who are listening to this and watching this, whenever they do, will find some value in that. And how do they find out about Out of the Dark and what you do?
Basically, you can go to the website, all the W's, outofthedark.org.uk, or they can do all the W's, street-dreams.org.uk. Basically, they could go on the website, they could contact us on Facebook, contact us via emails. And they could just come down to the workshop and find out what we do, and then speak to the young people. Because basically, for me, I don't like to do too much talking. I prefer the young people to do the talking because it's them who I'm passing the baton to, if that kind of makes sense.
And that's really appropriate, especially what happened at the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, where the elite athletes passed on the baton to the younger kids. That was really powerful.
And that's what we try to do in Street Dreams. It is a case of building these young people up. Me and my wife said that when we got into this business, we like to work ourselves out of a job. So basically, train young people up to do the job that we do, so we don't have to keep doing it. And we're almost there. I've got about 6 young people trained up now able to do that. So able to go and deliver a positive message to other young people that are out there.
Great, so thanks very much, Jay. So this has been Steve Sharpley with Jay Blake, talking about man-kindness in the workplace and helping people see that man-kindness is the kind of success worth getting. Thanks very much.
Thank you.